He slammed the car door and froze. The sound of a small shoe skidding across the pavement cut through the chaos of shouting men and rushing footsteps. A little girl had run straight into his path. Guards reached for their weapons, but he lifted a hand sharply. The child looked up at him, unafraid, eyes wide and curious. "Sir," she said softly, "are you lost?" Something hit his chest so hard he forgot how to breathe. Before the story continues, if you enjoy emotional, suspense-filled stories like this, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. It really helps the channel grow and lets us know you want more stories like this. Her voice pulled him backward in time. 6 years earlier, he had not been a feared name whispered in dark rooms. Back then, he was just Joon to her. Quiet. Polite. Always watching, always listening. He met Ella on an ordinary evening when her bag tore open on a crowded street. Papers scattered. He knelt without thinking, helping her gather them. "Thank you," she said, brushing her hair back. Most people would have kept walking. "I'm not most people," he replied. She smiled. "I can see that." They began talking after that. Small conversations at first. About work. About life. About nothing important and everything at once. Ella laughed easily, but there was strength behind it. She worked hard, asked questions, and didn't pretend to be impressed by the quiet mystery around him. "You don't talk much about yourself," she told him one evening. "There isn't much to say." She raised an eyebrow. "That's never true." He almost told her then. Almost told her that his real name carried blood and fear, that men bowed their heads when he walked into a room. Instead, he said nothing. Love crept in without permission. They spent evenings together, sitting close, talking low. When she talked about her dreams, he listened like they mattered more than his own survival. When he looked at her, he felt something unfamiliar: hope. "You ever think about the future?" she asked once. "Yes," he answered. "With me in it?" He hesitated for a fraction of a second. "Yes." That lie tasted sweet and deadly. The call came the night everything ended. His phone vibrated. He stepped outside, answered, and his face hardened. "They found you," the voice said. "You stayed too long." He went back inside and looked at Ella. She was smiling, unaware that danger had already stepped into the room. "I have to travel," he said suddenly. Her smile faded. "Tonight?" "Yes." "For how long?" "I don't know." She stood. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," he said quickly. "This is me. It's always been me." "Then let me come with you." He shook his head. "You can't." "Why?" "Because they would kill you. Because loving me is a death sentence. Because my life is built on violence and I was a fool to think I could outrun it." Instead, he said, "Please trust me." She searched his face. "I do. That's why this hurts." He left before dawn. No goodbye. No explanation. He convinced himself it was mercy. 2 weeks later, Ella sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the test in her trembling hands. "Positive." She called him. The number was disconnected. She emailed. Nothing. Days passed. Then weeks. Silence became the answer. She cried once. Then she stopped. "I'll do this alone," she whispered to her empty room. 6 years passed. Ella's life was not easy, but it was honest. She worked, she raised her daughter, and she refused to let bitterness define her. Joolla grew fast. Her name came from a blend of the first 3 letters of her father's name and the final 3 letters of her mother's name. She was curious, bold, and asked questions that made adults uncomfortable. "Where's my daddy?" Joolla asked one afternoon. Ella paused. "He didn't know how to stay." "Is he bad?" "No," Ella said softly. "He was just scared." Back in Korea, Joon was no longer hiding. His name commanded fear. Deals were made with a nod. Wars were avoided because of his reputation. Yet every night, he sat alone. "Boss," his lieutenant said one evening, "the expansion overseas is ready." "Where?" "West Africa." Something twisted in his chest. Fate had a cruel sense of humor. When he arrived years later, power surrounded him again. Black cars. Armed guards. Streets cleared at his arrival. That was when Joolla ran. She had slipped away from her caregiver, chasing a balloon. straight into him. Now, standing there, looking down at her, he felt the world tilt. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Joolla." "Joolla," he repeated. A woman's voice cut through the air. "Joolla." Ella ran toward them, panic flashing across her face. Then she stopped. The moment stretched. 6 years collapsed into a breath. "You," she said, her voice steady but cold. He straightened slowly. "Ella." Her hands clenched. "You don't get to say my name." Joolla looked between them. "Mommy, he's nice." Ella forced a smile. "Come here, baby." Joolla obeyed, but she kept looking back at him. He watched them walk away, something tearing open inside him. "Boss?" his guard asked. He didn't answer. That night, he couldn't sleep. He replayed the scene again and again. The girl's eyes. The shape of her face. The familiarity that terrified him. "She's mine," he whispered. The truth landed like a verdict. He had not just abandoned a woman. He had abandoned a child. And for the first time in his life, power meant nothing. Joon did not leave the city the next day. Or the next. His men noticed the delay but asked no questions. He spent hours replaying Ella's face when she saw him. Not shock. Not confusion. Control. That hurt more than anger would have. "Find her," he finally said. His lieutenant hesitated. "Boss?" "Find her," Joon repeated, his voice flat. Within hours, he had the address. A modest apartment. Quiet neighborhood. No guards. No extravagance. He stared at the information longer than necessary. "She built a life without me," he muttered. That evening, Ella was washing dishes when a knock came. She froze. No one ever knocked that late. She turned off the tap slowly. "Who is it?" "Joon." Her grip tightened on the counter. She closed her eyes once, then opened them and walked to the door. She did not open it. "You have 5 seconds," she said through the wood. "Use them wisely." "I didn't know," he said immediately. "About her." "About Joolla." She laughed once. Sharp. Bitter. "Time's up." The door stayed closed. "Ella, please. You lost the right to say please 6 years ago. I was trying to protect you." She yanked the door open. From what? The truth? Responsibility? Or the inconvenience of loving someone? He looked at her. Really looked. She was stronger now. Harder. The softness he remembered was still there, but guarded. "You vanished," she continued. "No call. No message. I begged the silence for answers. Do you know what silence gave me?" He swallowed. "Pain. A daughter," she said. "I gave myself answers. I chose her. Every day." Joolla peeked from behind the couch. "Mommy?" Ella softened instantly. "Go to your room, sweetheart." "But..." "Now." Joolla hesitated, then disappeared. Joon's chest ached. "She's beautiful. She's not for you to admire. I want to be part of her life." Ella laughed again, this time without humor. "You don't want a life, Joon. You want relief from guilt." "That's not true." "Then tell me," she challenged, "what exactly do you do for a living?" Silence. Her eyes narrowed. "That's what I thought." "My world is dangerous," he admitted. "I kept you away for a reason. And yet you came back," she said. "You didn't stay away this time." "I couldn't." She stepped back. "You don't get to rewrite the past because you suddenly feel regret." "I'm not asking for forgiveness," he said. "I'm asking for a chance to do better." "For who?" she shot back. "You? Or her?" "For her." Ella studied his face, searching for lies. She found fear. Real fear. "You will not confuse her," she said. "You will not walk in and out of her life like you did mine." "I won't." "You don't make promises you can't keep." "I will prove it." She shook her head. "You don't even know her favorite color." He answered quietly. "I can learn." She crossed her arms. "This doesn't happen fast. And it doesn't happen on your terms." "Tell me the terms," he said. She hesitated. "You start by staying away from her." Pain flashed across his face. "That defeats the purpose." "No," she corrected. "It tests it." Days passed. Joon stayed away barely. He watched from a distance when Joolla walked to school. He learned her routine without interfering. When danger followed him, he redirected it. When enemies sniffed around the neighborhood, He moved them away without Ella ever knowing. One afternoon, Joolla fell while playing. She scraped her knee badly. Ella rushed over, panic flooding her voice. "I'm okay," Joolla said bravely, tears slipping anyway. Joon stepped forward before thinking. He knelt, offered a handkerchief. "It'll sting," he said gently. Joolla looked at him, then nodded. "Okay." Ella froze. "I said stay away." "She's hurt," he replied. Joolla sniffed. "It's okay, Mommy." He helped. Ella swallowed her anger. Later, when Joolla slept, she confronted him. "You crossed a line." "I crossed to protect her. That's my job." "And I failed to ever have one," he said quietly. That night, Ella sat alone, conflicted. She hated that he cared. She hated that Joolla liked him. She hated that part of her still remembered the man he used to be. Joolla's voice broke her thoughts. "Mommy?" "Yes, baby." "Is that man my daddy?" Ella closed her eyes. "Yes." Joolla smiled softly. "I thought so." "Why?" "He looks at me like I'm important." Tears burned Ella's eyes. Across the city, Joon received a message. A warning. An old rival had noticed his distraction. "Boss," the lieutenant said urgently, "they know you have a weakness." Joon's jaw tightened. Then they know where they'll fail. For the first time, his past and present were on a collision course. And Ella and Joolla were standing right in the middle. Ella noticed the changes before anyone warned her. Cars she didn't recognize lingering too long. A man pretending to check his phone across the street every morning. The air felt tight, like something bad was waiting for permission. She confronted Joon the third evening. "You said you would protect her," she said, voice low. "This doesn't feel like protection." He didn't deny it. "Someone from my past is watching." Her eyes flashed. "Then leave." "I can't." "You brought this to my door," she snapped. "You don't get to decide what danger we live with." "I'm trying to stop it." "By hovering?" she asked bitterly. "By turning my child into a target?" His jaw tightened. "I won't let anything happen to her." "That's what you said before you disappeared." Silence fell between them. Joolla's laughter drifted from the other room, innocent and unaware. "You should take her somewhere safe," Ella said finally. Joon shook his head. "Running makes it worse." "Then what do you suggest?" "I end it." She stared at him. "What does that mean?" "It means anyone who threatens her stops breathing," he said calmly. Fear flickered across her face. "I don't want that kind of blood around my child." "I've lived in blood long before I knew her," he replied. "Now it means something." That night, the warning became real. A black car swerved too close as Ella and Joolla crossed the street. Tires screeched. Joolla screamed. Joon moved before sound finished traveling. He yanked them back, shielding Joolla with his body as the car sped off. "Mommy!" Joolla cried, shaking. Ella clutched her, hands trembling. She looked up at Joon, rage and terror colliding. "That's it," she said. "This ends now." At home, she packed a bag with shaking hands. "You're not taking her," Joon said quietly. "You don't get to decide that," Ella shot back. "They will follow." "Then I'll disappear," she said. "Like you did." The words hit harder than any weapon. "I was wrong," he said. "I won't repeat that mistake." "You don't get redemption at my child's expense." Joolla stepped between them, small voice cutting through the storm. "Please don't fight." Both of them froze. Ella knelt. "Sweetheart, go sit down." Joolla didn't move. She looked at Joon. "Are you going to leave again?" His throat tightened. He crouched to her level. "No." "You promise." Ella inhaled sharply. "I promise," Joon said. Later that night, Joon met his men. "They want leverage," the lieutenant said. "They'll strike close." "Then they won't get the chance," Joon replied. "What about the child?" "That's the only rule," Joon said coldly. "No one touches her. Ever." The ambush came at dawn. Gunfire shattered the quiet street. Ella woke to glass breaking and Joon shouting. "Stay down." He was already moving, dragging a bookshelf across the door, blocking windows. His men returned fire outside. Joolla screamed. Ella covered her body, heart pounding. "Daddy!" Joolla cried. The words sliced through him. Joon kicked open the back exit. "Follow me." They ran through alleys, shots echoing behind them. A bullet grazed Joon's arm. He didn't slow. They reached a safe house minutes later. The door slammed shut. Silence fell. Ella stared at the blood on his sleeve. "You're hurt." "I'm fine." She shook as adrenaline drained away. "This is your world," she whispered. "And now it's ours." "I can get you out," he said. "New identities. Far away." "And you?" she asked. "I stay," he said. "I finish it." "No," she said fiercely. "If you leave again, you don't come back." He looked at Joolla, curled against Ella, exhausted. "I won't leave her," he said. "Even if it costs me everything." Later, as Joolla slept, Ella confronted him one last time. "You can't be half a father," she said. "You either walk away completely or you change your life." "I don't know how to be anything else," he admitted. "Then learn," she said. "Or let us go." That night, Joon stood alone, staring at his hands. Hands that had built empires and destroyed lives. For the first time, he was afraid. Not of death, but of losing the only thing that ever mattered. Morning came quietly, too quietly. Joon stood by the window, watching the street like it might blink first. His phone buzzed once. A message. A location. A challenge. "They want a meeting," his lieutenant said. "They think you're distracted." Joon smiled without warmth. "They're right." Ella overheard everything. "You're not going." "I am." "No," she said firmly. "You promised." "I promised not to leave her," he replied. "Not that I'd stop fighting." "That's the same thing." He turned to her. "If I don't end this, it never ends." She grows up running. Looking over her shoulder. "That's not a childhood." Joolla appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. "Why are you talking like that?" Joon knelt immediately. "Hey, did I wake you?" She shook her head. "Are you going somewhere?" He hesitated. Ella held her breath. "I'm going to fix something," he said carefully. "And then I'm coming back." Joolla studied him the way children do, seeing past words. "You better," she said seriously. "Because you still owe me a story." His chest tightened. "I won't forget." The meeting was short. Cold. Tense. Joon didn't sit. "You crossed a line," the rival said. "You brought your weakness into the open." Joon leaned forward. "She's not my weakness. She's my reason." They laughed. They stopped laughing when his men surrounded the room. "I'm done," Joon said. "Anyone who comes near my family answers to me. And if we don't agree?" Joon straightened. "Then this ends today." It did. By nightfall, the threat was gone. Not loudly. Not publicly. Permanently. Joon returned to the safe house as the sun dipped low. Ella was waiting. "It's over," he said. She searched his face. "Is it really?" "Yes." She nodded slowly. "Then choose." He didn't hesitate. "I'm stepping away." Her eyes widened. "From everything?" "From all of it. You know they won't let you go easily." "I know." "Why would you do that?" she asked, voice trembling. He looked toward the room where Joolla slept. "Because power never held me the way she did." Weeks passed. No cars lingered. No shadows followed. Joon changed. He learned how to exist without fear being his armor. He learned Joolla's routines. Her favorite food. Her favorite story. He showed up. Every day. One evening, Joolla climbed into his lap with a book. "Read," she demanded. He smiled. "You're the boss, huh?" "Yes," she said proudly. Ella watched from the doorway, emotions colliding. She hadn't forgiven him completely. But she saw the effort. The consistency. The love. Later that night, she spoke quietly. "You don't get to erase what you did," she said. "But you're here now." "I will always be here," he said. She nodded. That's all she needs. Months later, Joon stood at a small school event. Parents clapped. Children laughed. Joolla ran up to him, medal around her neck. "Daddy, I won." He lifted her without thinking. Applause filled the room. Ella watched, tears in her eyes. Joon met her gaze. No words were needed. For the first time, he wasn't feared. He was chosen. And if this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories like this to life. Because sometimes, the strongest men aren't the ones who rule the world, but the ones who stay.